Hello, everybody. How y'all doing today? I hope you're doing well. I know I'm a little bit late with doing my video journal entry. I've had a bit of a busy day today, so first I had a phone call I need to make. Well, I woke up a little bit late too, which was fine with me as I needed the little extra sleep. Um, uh, but that's fine. We all need that every once in a while. But anyway, yeah, I had a phone call I had to make, and or actually a couple of them, with regards to this one issue. Um, and once I got that straightened around, then I was just like, I'm not kind of on a roll with phone calls, so let me start back up with trying to find a broker for my health insurance. And since how, excuse me, I never heard back from the other person, and I'm trying to, you know, going through the list and so forth. I called one, and it was supposed to be for one person, and I wound up getting somebody else with the same firm. So far so good. Even um, um, at least we're getting steps closer to everything, and excuse me, the main thing is, I'm having to try to switch over basically the Medicaid benefits over to new insurance. Obviously I can't do Medicaid now, but making sure that I'm able to switch, have the same doctors, and also that all my prescriptions are going to be covered. So yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to do and everything, but I don't know how to do any of that. I've never been in this situation before, so it's a bit of a learning curve. So, and that's why I really need a broker to help me out with all of that. So, so far so good. We'll see how it all pans out and everything. I I know that with what I had to send him uh, last, it's going to take him some time to do that research or what have you. So that's happening. Work last night was definitely a lot better than the night before. I was mostly back in my own old area that I'm used to working, and that I know I can make decent money and everything without fighting tooth and nail. So yeah, it was definitely a much better situation last night. I'm going to hit it again tonight, but I'm going to need that nap first. That's for sure. Um, a little bit, just a little bit sleepy still. But I go through that, after eating with the insulin, with that kicking in and so forth. So, yeah. Let's see here. What else? Oh, um, I was going to talk to you all about a concept that is called fair weathered friends. And it's not just friends, it's basically people in general that are in your life. So, friends, family, so on and so forth. And I seem to be kind of clearing out a lot of those. Yeah. Um, I hate to say it, but I'm running out of people in my life. But it's one of the things that I have learned with the um, uh, spiritual journey, the ascension journey. It's like everybody keeps saying that a lot of those people wind up falling away out of your life. Yeah, I've been having that happen quite a bit. And I had a situation happen actually just a little while ago where it's people, um, family basically, who received a text message from one, and it's just like I've same issues over and over and over again, where it's like the only time they want me around is when, just like the term says, everything is fair weather. Minute shit starts hitting the fan, it's like, oh, I can't handle this or whatever, and off we go. I'm sorry, well, actually, I'm not sorry that my life has. I deal with a lot of shit, okay? It's like, okay, yeah, I realize everybody deals with a lot of shit, and I realize that a lot of my stuff is a little bit more on the extreme, but that's normal for my life. I hate to say it. But, it just, the way that and it has been kind of going through my brain a little bit here lately, and because of situation also with the gentleman that I have been talking about as well. Pretty much same thing happened there. It's like on the one hand, all interested, this and that and everything, and but then, shit hits the fan or whatever, miscommunication, um, having to be hiding behind our own family or whatever the case may be. I have no idea. All I'm doing is making assumptions, but it's assumptions based off of what I'm seeing because there's no communication. And, or I try to communicate and it's just like, oh no, okay. It's like, I just feel like that all we wanted me around for was to help bring them up. That's how I feel about it. So, because unfortunately a lot of people like I said, it's something that has kind of been going through my brain here lately. I mean, what else do I have but when I'm out there driving by myself but to be thinking? Helps keep me awake. But no, I mean, it isn't just that. It's just something that has been going through my brain off and on here lately, where it's like I feel like they a lot of people have difficulties dealing with, I don't want to say reality, but the darker sides of life. The darker sides that are out there. And the way I look at it is, who would I much rather have in my life? People who just think that one life is nothing more than one big party, who deal with a little bit of issues here and there or whatever, but never really and truly experience the darker side of life? Or would I much rather surround myself with people who get it? Now, don't get me wrong, you got to be careful with that line because you don't want a bunch of toxic people in your life either. You don't want a bunch of people who are drug addicts, alcoholics, abusers, all this sort of stuff, constantly negative, or what have you. But at the same point, you don't want people who think that are just all the time either, because then when shit does hit the fan, it's like, oh my god, I broke a nail. Yeah, so cut it off. Oh, I can't pay this bill this month. What do I do? Call and get an extension? You know what I mean? Okay, or even, even more difficult things than that, of course, oh, shoot, I can't pay my rent this month. I might be evicted, shit like that. Oh, crap, I'm missing my car payments. I'm worried that my car is going to be repoed. Things like that, of course. But, I would much rather surround myself with people who have been through all of those sorts of experiences, those common experiences, and take it. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I just got done eating too. Um, who face it head on. Whether they take it in stride, going with the flow or what have you, but face it head on, than to be surrounding myself with people who just don't get it. And the reason why I'd much rather surround myself with people like that is because, if they've had the experiences, then they can teach other people on how to deal with it. hmm So, and with having those common experiences and everything, that can help with building more stable relationships. Yeah. So, yeah, it's just one of those things that has been kind of going through my brain here lately. And like I said, I've been finding myself um, getting depleted of people in my life. I hate to say, well, I don't want to say I hate to say it. Um, it's it's people who really it's been time for them to go. Either they shouldn't have ever been in my life to begin with, or they were in my life and I have grown and changed so much that, yeah, it's time to cut ties. There is one person I will admit that, in some ways I'm a little sad to see go. Uh, but when I think back on the relationship too, it's kind of like, yeah, okay. Don't get me wrong. I hope that maybe we can work things out. This is a friend, very long standing friend. And I hope that maybe, we might be able to talk at some point or whatever. But the ball's going to have to be in her court, basically. She's, I've tried reaching out a couple times, um, but unfortunately, uh, it just is that way. So if she decides to come back around and have a conversation, so be it. If not, okay. There's not much I can do about it. I'm moving, and same thing goes with anybody in my life. And I'm talking about having actual conversations, no shouting matches. I'm tired of it. It's like you don't get anything accomplished with that because it's neither side is going to listen, because that's when those shouting matches start happening. That's when the egos kick in and so forth, and neither side is ever going to listen to each other until things settle down. Then it's like, well, maybe, or this or that, then all of that starts creeping, and then it's just kind of like, okay, I get it that it can also be important to have shouting matches because it helps to release those frustrations. And um but in the end, there has to be calm, peaceful communication. um so anyway, yeah, but that's the thing though, both sides have to be willing to listen. And unfortunately, like the situation I was talking about earlier, with family, it's never been that way. It's been more talking at me than having a conversation with me. And even if there's some sort of semblance of having a conversation with me, it's still, in the end, it's not actually listening and having making our own assumptions and so forth, and having our mindsets sticking with those assumptions, and that's not good either. So that's why, have to have open communication, and both sides have to have that open mind and actually listen and talk. So, um, yeah, and I'm open to that. But yeah. So anyway, that's kind of how my day has been going. Happy 50th birthday. I did get a couple of birthday wishes earlier, so that was nice. Um, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now, with everything. But until, I see some sort of improvements, um, actual reaching out, either through text messaging, DMing, email, whatever the case may be, and I'm, talking about anybody who's in my life, I'm just, I don't want anything to do with any of it. It's like, why in the world should I keep trying to, you know, be open with everybody if I'm not getting that reciprocated? Basically, is what it boils down to. So yeah, I've been unfollowing people. I've been blocking people. Well, if anybody's blocked, then it's a really bad situation. It's just like, no, get out of my life forever. For the most part, it's just mostly been, unfollowing people, or defriending, or whatever the case may be, because yeah, I'm tired of one-sided conversations. Um, and in the meantime, I am actually, it's like, it kind of kills me because I was on such a good buzz. I mean, a really great buzz. Like, oh, I'm, making progress, with things that I'm trying to, challenges that I'm trying to overcome, and so on and so forth. And then I get that text message, and I'm just like, buzzkill. Oh well, it was to be expected. But but I was just like, okay, momentary setback. I sent back a nice message. I was nice, best I could be anyway. Reminding them that, hey, look, this has been going on, so can it, basically. And um and at the same time, reminding myself, it's like, you know what, am moving towards something much, much better than the situation that I'm in right now. And that is really, like times like last night, night before, when I was feeling, or like the night before when I was feeling frustrated, or last night when I was feeling really, really tired, and I just wanted to come home. And I was just like, no. And remind myself of the path that I'm on now. And it is the end, I don't want to say the end result, but the path that this path that I'm on now is a much better path that I'm on than where I'm at right now. What the direction that I'm heading towards, with the things that I want to do, and so forth, is much better than the situation I'm in right now. It's just, this situation has to be cleared up, and is providing the stepping stones that I need to get to where it is that I really want to be. And if anything, with looking back where I was last year at this time, I am in a much better situation than what I was then. I have grown immensely over the last year with my spirituality, my ascension journey, and so forth, my self confidence, and let's face it, even health wise, even physically, I'm in a much better position than what I was a year ago. So, and of course, I'm financially, yeah, it's not the greatest, but it's still a much better situation, because I'm living in a place, I have a roof over my head, I have no roommates, I don't have to worry about waking people up overnight when I come home, I don't have to worry about waking up somebody's dog and having them barking or this or that. I just come home, I eat, I watch my one of my shows that I stream, and I go to sleep. I don't have to worry about being woken up in the morning because of somebody's dog barking or people going to work or this or that. I'm in total silence. Yeah, there's the activity with people going to work or whatever, but with the AC going and fan going, um, yeah, it's not that big of a deal. It helps, it drowns things out and so forth. So I am in a better position. Have made progress, and that's the thing to remember. Progress has been made. Progress is being made. So that's what matters the most. Um, so that's what and yeah, people are making assumptions about me. Um, they see me. I know that people see me as a degenerate. I know that. As someone who is irresponsible, and so on and so forth. But those people also refuse to listen to anything that I am trying to tell them. They do not see somebody who has been ill. They don't see somebody who, because of it, has been having financial struggles. They don't see the fact that there have been multiple times just within this last year alone where I have basically been on death's door, and it has been a fight to get me back here. So, yeah, I mean, how can you go from that and still be expected to be taking care of things financially? I mean, give me a break. It's gonna hit you, and it's gonna hit you hard. And if people can't accept that, if they don't want to see that, you know what? Fuck you. That's your problem. You go do your own inner work and then come back and talk to me. You go through and experience all of that and then come back and talk to me and tell me, oh, yeah, mm hmm. It's like, no, no. So I'm at that point where, in many ways, I just don't care. And I'm getting closer and closer to closing even more doors because I don't want it in my life. And it isn't that I don't need it or there anything. I just plain flat out don't want it. I don't want to deal with it. And if it means cutting off people who I have either known most of my life or all of my life, oh well. Or even people who I've known for a short amount of time who I may care about very, very much. I just don't want to deal with it. Plain and simple. I don't want that sort of energy around me. And unfortunately, the world is full of it. And it's difficult to escape. It's difficult to get away from it. I realize people don't want to, you know, uh, be around people who are negative or whatever, but you know what? That's also about the case with being somebody who's a philosopher, an old soul, and a philosopher. And I know that. And I know that's what I am. I see the world for what it is. I I see. I tend to look at the darker sides of the world, not because I want to be a drama queen or anything. It's more because I see that as problems or issues or what have you, and I want to try and help to fix it. Not fix it, but make it better. Because people shouldn't have to go through these things. And unfortunately, because of the way the world is, with everybody being so focused on money and the egoic self and so forth, that first house sort of situation, unfortunately. And everybody wanting to walk around with blinders on and not actually, and being too scared to go to streets like I've talked about, that's right around the corner for me with homeless encampments and so forth. Oh my gosh, that's dangerous. Yeah, it's dangerous. But do you really think that passing an ordinance jailing people, if that's giving them a fine, how in the hell are they going to pay it, first of all? Okay, through the donations that they give while standing on the street corner? They're doing that to, I realize a lot of them are doing it to buy their booze and drugs and so forth, but some of them are doing it so that way they can feed their families. You really think that passing these sorts of ordinances and so forth, that's going to help? No, it's not. What's going to help is providing these people with resources so they can get out of the situation, not winding up in freaking jail. It makes no sense. And until you actually look at that in the face, not just, hiring people to represent you to, to deal with it, they're not making the proper decisions. It's up to us to actually look at these things. And unfortunately, go out there, talk to these people. Find out what it is that they need and everything. We know what they need. But and not telling them, oh, go get a job, or go to a homeless shelter, or go apply for aid. Okay, it can take, first of all, aid can take years for it to actually be able to kick in. Second of all, shelters are getting fewer and far in between and are over capacity. And telling somebody to go get a job, how in the hell can they get a job with looking like that? But nobody wants to face that. Nobody wants to look any of that in the face. They just want to blow it up and so forth and move back on to their happy little lives. And this is the reason why I prefer to look at that than to be looking at everything as all sunshine and roses. No, because there's problems in this world and nobody wants to face any of it. And I would much rather face it. I'd much rather be surrounded by these sorts of people in my life than that. Because we have faced it, we know it, we know how this sort of reality is, and it's going to be up to us to figure out how to deal with it. May not happen within my lifetime, probably won't happen within my lifetime. It's one of those things that's going to take incremental generations to finally, hopefully, take care of these sorts of situations. And unfortunately, it's not happening because I am seeing, like this homeless situation I keep talking about, it's growing immensely, at least here in Vegas. And I'm not just talking about within Vegas city limits, I'm talking about within the Clark County jurisdiction, Henderson jurisdiction, North Las Vegas jurisdiction, even Boulder City jurisdiction. And it's getting much, much worse than what it was when I first moved here 20 years ago. And I have watched it. I've been in the job industries where I have to face it every single day. And it's growing. So, and that's one of the reasons why I like to do these videos. And it's the reason why I wanted to do this video today. Because it's time for all of us to get off the drugs, get off the booze, get off all the partying and shit. And we need to start taking care of this shit. We need to start pulling together and taking care of this shit. Because it's our representatives, they're too busy fighting with each other, proving, oh, my political party is better than yours. and causing a rift within each of us to help keep them elevated than to actually be sitting down and figuring out these problems. All right. A lot to handle today. I know. I hope somebody actually listens to this. I love you guys. Talk to y'all soon.